Yeah, I described that where the computer was acquired and under what search warrant.
All right. And so basically, simply the fact that it was in his car at the time that the child died was your reason why you believed there was evidence on there to be located?
No, that's not the only reason.
Did you have any specific evidence regarding this specific computer, of its use at all prior to seeking the search warrant?
And going back to my affidavit, we had, statements that he's made regarding in-car deaths, and we're looking for issues regarding motive with finances, credit card debt, business info, life insurance. We also had communications about the child, wife, family issues. Can you make communications with others leading up to including incident? You can communicate through computers now.
And that list is what you're looking for, not what you had evidence of, correct?
We had probable cause to search the computer for that evidence, yes.
What evidence about this computer did you have other than it was in the car that Mr. Harris was driving?
It was in his possession inside the vehicle when his son died.
And that's it,
And
correct?
he may have used it to search or have searched or stored this evidence on it.
He may have. You had no independent evidence to
Yes, we don't know
show-
what electronic device this information would have been on.
I understand that. Because you had not, even though it's now been about a week or 6 days since the death, you still have not independently got any investigation to connect this computer to this child's death, correct?
He had made statements that he had gone on the computer, he'd watched the news story, which could have been done on the computer, and also the veterinarian video regarding how hot it gets in a car.
All right. None of which in those 6 days you had any reason to disbelieve, correct?
Disbelieve the statements he made?
Right.
I didn't know whether to believe him or not. That's why we're obtaining a search warrant for the computers to see if he had researched this or these items. And or in this search warrant, we also listed several other items regarding motive and regarding his statement about he was happily married and these other issues with other women, family issues and that type of thing.
You also offered to the magistrate one piece of new information you provided to the magistrate here was that you believed he was a web designer. And where did that information come from?
Where it came from Home Depot.
All right. And did you explain to the magistrate the source of that statement?
I shouldn't say Home Depot, or he might have stated that in his interview. I don't know if he stated that in his interview or not.
You don't even know where it came from, so you certainly didn't tell the magistrate the source of that information, correct?
Correct. I informed him that I believed he was a web designer.
And then you also offer that you believe he brings them home and works on them, these computers, correct?
Yes.
And again, you do not provide any source of that information to the magistrate?
Or what would you say, evidence regarding him bringing them home and working on the computers?
Where you got that idea that he brings them home and works on them and is a web designer?
Now, we had that information through Home Depot, and I believe we spoke with one of his co-workers, and we had that information that they do work from home.
But not one time did you put that in writing or your oral testimony to the magistrate, correct?
It's not in writing, and he did not ask me.
All right. 14 SW 0634, excuse me, 0637. This is for an Apple MacBook Pro, again, located in the vehicle Mr. Harris is driving. And am I correct to presume that, again, your reason for wanting to look into that device was similar to what you've already indicated, which was because it was in the car at the time and you didn't know what might be on there. You just wanted to see if, in fact, you could find any of these items on there?
Not necessarily the way you worded it.
Okay, well, you worded it.
We wanted to search the device because of the statements made by the defendant, and also regarding motives such as finance, credit card, business information, life insurance, emails, communication about the child, the wife, family issues, photos, videos of child, show development, info on car seat searches, I already mentioned in-car deaths, communication with others on the incident date and days leading up to the incident, and any other information that would be related to this incident. This computer was inside the vehicle at the time of the child's death. Well, it was inside the vehicle at the end of the day when the child was discovered by Mr. Harris, and we did not know what piece of electronic device would have this particular information or searches.
In fact, you didn't know if any of these electronic devices would have any of this information on it, correct?
We did not know if it would or not. I mean, it was just common to have information such as your finances, banking, life insurance, emails, and all this stuff on those type of devices, or if you would have done some type of internet search.
And it could have been a computer belonging to one of his friends that he had lunch with that day, correct?
I wouldn't know if it was or not.
Exactly.
It was in his possession.
But when you were speaking with the magistrate seeking a search warrant, you didn't have any precaution in place to look to see if in fact it had anything to do with him first before you started searching who knows whose computer this was. You just wanted to look to see if you could find any of this information in it.
It was in his possession,
I got
and
that.
we didn't know if he had done these type of searches or this type of information would be on it or not.
Bottom line is you didn't know that any information would be on there, correct?
We did not know what specifically we would find on it.
All right. In 0639, it's for an iPhone was located inside the vehicle Mr. Harris was driving. When the magistrate asks you again, specifically, why are you looking at this device? Again, you simply provided him the list of things that y'all wanted to look for, correct?
In oral testimony, correct.
In 0640, now we're leaving electronic devices. And this is the one where you were asking to look through the house again to look for light bulbs, do an inspection of light bulbs, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that warrant, it was never actually executed, is that correct?
That's correct. We did not execute that search warrant.
In 0641, this was a search warrant for some Home Depot records, some records in the HR department, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And that warrant indicate you want to obtain Mr. Harris's personnel records to include evidence of life insurance policies, pay stubs, and any other paperwork pertaining to the investigation, correct?
Yes.
And that phrase, any other paperwork pertaining to the investigation, what would that limit your searching Home Depot's Human Resources Department to?
To be limited to anything that would be related to this incident or investigation.
And what would that be?
As far as limiting it,
Right.
we asked for personal records, including evidence of life insurance policies, pay stubs. If there's any other record pertaining to investigation, if they had, the daycare was inside Home Depot, I don't know if any of that would be in his personal files or not. I don't know what their HR department keeps in file for their personnel.
So if there had been some daycare information in there, you would have gotten that too?
If it pertained to the investigation, possibly.
Were you the one who executed this warrant? The search warrant?
I don't know if I did or not.
You did the return on it, if that's of any help.
I did the return, but
copy was left with a Ms. Mary Loudermilk. Does that name ring a bell?
Yes, it does. Hang on a second. I believe I was the one that went and picked up the disc. I'm checking right now. Yeah, no, 6:25, Detective Stoddard and I went to the Home Depot headquarters and met with Mary Laudermill.
All right. Did you then search through the Human Resources file, or did they simply have a copy waiting for you to pick up?
We served her with the search warrant, and she advised Detective Stoddard that she would contact him when she was able to get the paperwork together.
Okay.
I'm not aware of when that would have been.
All right. So when you did the return of this warrant on September 18th of this year, do you think y'all received the information by then?
Yes.
All right. So ultimately, whatever was turned over to you, that was left to a Home Depot employee to decide what was going to be turned over to you, correct?
Yes, it would have been up to them to obtain the records that they were going to turn over to us.
All right. Now going to the June 27th group of warrants. And this is for several other electronic devices, correct?
Yes, there's 4 electronic devices. Another warrant was secured, and as far as consecutively with that judge, for Mr. Harris's residence. 2 were obtained for, one was obtained for Cooper Harris's medical records and Justin Harris's medical records. And then the last one in that group was for the cell phone that was on his person the day of the incident when he was arrested. Or that was...
All right. Well, let's just start with the first one, 14 SW 0653 for a SanDisk Cruiser thumb drive. How did that, where was that item located?
Inside the vehicle.
And as far as what a SanDisk Cruiser Glide 32 gigabyte thumb drive was, did you have an idea what that was at the time you secured the search warrant?
Yes, a thumb drive.
And in that regard, you understood it to be something that could electronically store information, correct?
Yes, sir.
And at this point in time, in addition to the 4 items we've talked about before, searching for evidence designed for use in commission of the crime, intended for use in commission of the crime, or has been used in the commission of the crime, or tangible evidence of the commission of the crime, you now start adding a different description as being other, all digital and electronically stored data, correct?
Yes, sir.
And this is the first warrant that we're starting to see this as one of the items you're looking for, correct?
Yes, sir.
As far as this thumb drive, you were getting a search warrant for it on June 27th. You had no specific information as to Mr. Harris's ever having used or accessed this thumb drive at the time you got the search warrant, correct?
We knew that it was inside his vehicle in his possession at the time.
All right. And when asked by the magistrate, what do you think you're going to find there? You then, again, just simply listed out the request of what y'all wanted to look for, correct?
Yes, I gave him the list of the what we're searching for.
And the magistrate at this point in time even notes that you're asking for any information that could relate to this incident, that was kind of a bit broad of a request. You recall that?
Yeah, I think he references based on the last statement of mine of other information related to this incident. He does state that that last statement seems a little broad.
All right. But you didn't ask for that to be removed from the search warrant, correct?
The judge states that the last statement is a little broad, and then he says that, but he thinks that the other ones are pretty specific based on the facts. And I don't know if there's any conversation after that or not.
The search warrant itself, however, leaves that information, or leaves that phrase in there, any other information related to this incident, correct?
Yes, it's still in the search warrant.
This is the first time that you spoke with the magistrate, correct? As to this group of warrants?
Yes, this is Judge Taylor. This would be the first time I spoke with him regarding this.
And you end up in the subsequent warrant referencing that testimony, correct?
I'm sorry.
When you got the subsequent search warrants, you recall there being reference to?
Yes, the warrants after this are a reference to the prior testimony, correct?
We'll play this one then, since I think we'll be talking about that.
I think it's working. Go ahead and raise your right hand for me, please. You swear affirm to tell me the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God.
Yeah.
Let me get your name, where you work, please. It's about 1:40 p.m. on June 27, 2014, according to my computer. Your side showing the same?
Yep.
All right, take it. We have a number. We've got how many of these? 8? Okay. What I'd like to do, I know they're all involved in the same case, and it's for some efficiency's sake, but also the way the computer works. And these are all involving the same underlying case. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. What I want to do is take the bulk of the common core testimony, underlying fact testimony, applicable to all these search warrant applications here on this video. And what we'll do is we'll incorporate that into later ones, then talk about specific other facts as they relate to each search warrant. That'll keep us from having to redo that same common core basic testimony 8 different times. Also, what we'll have to do is once we finish one, I don't record the printing process because we have to give you a password. I'll stop the recording and give you a password. We'll print. I've got to log out, log back in to pull up the next one. Then we'll start the next recording, but I'll just make a reference back to this and move on. Is that okay with you?
Yes.
Okay. Well, the first one I have up here is E010690. Let's take the common testimony for all these and tell me specifically what you're looking for in this application.
Let's start with this. On June 18th, the property 624 Christian also responded to 2955 New Regional Road in Georgia regarding a person down call when they arrived at the scene. They discovered Cooper Harris, a 22-month-old child deceased. The this person was contacted with them to begin our investigation. Their investigation of Joseph Harris, the deceased of his father, the witness by a bystander was pulling in the parking lot of Uncle Manuel's Pizza at 2955 Road. in a Honda Tuscan, Georgia tag RT7088. The vehicle came to a sudden stop. Harris exits the vehicle, goes to the back passenger compartment, and begins taking some of the child seat, pulls the kid out, lays him on the ground, and he's saying things such as, "Oh my God, what have I done?" He briefly attempts CPR on the deceased child. Of course, the bystanders attempt life saving measures as well. At that time, he steps back to the child, basically away from separates him from the child. He keeps making phone calls on his cell phone. Our knowledge, he never called 911. Harris then question on scene states that he went to work that morning and forgot to drop his child off at daycare. He left his residence, went to Chick-fil-A on Paces Ferry or on Humboldt Parkway, specifically because he knew his child missed breakfast at daycare was running late, so he took the child there to eat breakfast. Once he left Chick-fil-A, puts the kid in the car seat, leaves the Chick-fil-A, gets the child in the car, drives a short distance, approximately 3 minutes to his work, where he parks the car, unloads some of his items that he carries into work from the front driver's area, goes into work, comes back at lunchtime to drop off some light bulbs that he purchased at Home Depot during lunch with his friends, puts them into the vehicle, opens up the driver's side compartment, lays it in, does not see the child, goes back to work, comes back at around 1600-ish when he gets off of work. 16:15, gets into the vehicle, gets in, drives off, and states that he sees the kids had a peripheral vision as he tries to change lanes, making a right-hand turn approximately 5 minutes down the runway, and then realized he forgot his child left in the car. It was in 90 degrees for most of the day that day. Leaving that video of him driving to work, he backs up in reverse between two cars for several feet, pulls into a parking spot, sits there for about 30 seconds, goes into work, down on video, where his friends drop him off, open the door, put the bag into the car, and also when he gets in the vehicle and leaves at the end of the day. During the interview, he's asked about Cooper's development, or the Harris's, walking, talking, everything appears to be normal for a child of that age. He's asked about his financials. He's recently started a new business with several friends. Still planning on keeping his regular job. And he basically just getting started with his new business, talking about like credit card debt and other debt that he possibly had in $4,000 in credit card debt. He has outstanding student loans and car loans between him and his wife. Says that he's happily married, although there's evidence of inappropriate sexual communications with him and other women that have been obtained during the investigation. The day of the investigation, Leanna Cooper, the child's mother, is also questioned by investigators. During her interview, she makes a similar statement. Oh, I'm sorry, I'll go back. During Harris's interview, she makes a statement about this is his worst fear, saying, what's your worst fear? And he says specifically that leaving my child in a hot vehicle is my worst fear. He then says that he recently watched some videos regarding this and also watched some YouTube videos and other related deaths or animal incidents with being off the vehicles. His wife is questioned also the same day. She makes a similar statement that this is her greatest fear. And it's kind of confirmed by the fact that not just losing a child, but specifically leaving in a hot vehicle is the greatest fear. During the investigation, Harris has also made comments to family regarding life insurance policies that he has approved and that he has been aware of possible. Requested for a search and seizure warrant for a Sandus Cruise Live 32 GP thumb drive. Secured an execution of a search warrant, warrant number 14SW0598 on the Hyundai Tuscan, square tag Romeo Tango 7088 to basically search the electronic data to find it in that drive.
Okay, and what are you looking to find there? What do you think you're going to find there?
We're searching for any information pertaining to finances, credit card debt, business information, life insurance, emails, communications regarding the child, wife, and family. photos or videos of the child showing evidence of development, information about car seat searches. During his question, he was also very specific. He knew the exact make and model of the car seat, and specifically that the child was big enough to sit in the car seat. Searches regarding in-car deaths, communications with other people on the days leading up to and including the incident date, and information on life insurance policies and any other information that was related to this incident.
Okay. Well, that last statement's good, Rob. I think the other ones are pretty specific based upon the facts, so I think there's probable cause to issue the warrants. Let me make sure it's saved. Sometimes you gotta do it twice. Go ahead and sign the application portion, please.
Okay.
I'll just sign my side. Go ahead and sign the warrant portion, please. Sign my side. I'm going to give you a password to print in just a second. I don't record that whole password printing process, so anything you want to add to this recording before I stop it? All right, what we'll do is I'll stop this, I'll give you a password, then I'll print, then I've got to go in and log in and we'll pull up 691 next. I'll have to restart the video, and then we'll continue on from there, okay? All right, so let me stop that for now.
All right. In your explaining the probable cause to Judge Taylor, you mentioned that, in fact, Mr. Harris, in leaving the Chick-fil-A, had forgot his child was in his car, and that upon leaving work later that day, as he was driving, in his peripheral vision, he saw his child and realized that he had forgotten his child in the car, correct?
Correct.
And you had no evidence at all provided to the magistrate to disprove those statements, correct?
Those were statements taken from Mr. Harris.
Correct. You had no evidence to disprove that at that time, correct?
To disprove,
His
yes, we
statements
had
that he forgot his child in his car.
video that he went back to the vehicle at lunchtime, and we still didn't know if there was any kind of communications throughout the day regarding the child.
And in that video that you observed, you were able to see him. First of all, did you even see that video yourself
Yes, I did.
prior to getting the search warrant?
Yes.
All right. And so as you saw that video, you saw Mr. Harris open the car door, never get inside the car, but simply toss the bag of light bulbs into the car, correct?
Correct.
Never looked down into the car, never looked in the back seat, just simply open the door, put the bag in, and close the door, correct?
The quality video isn't excellent. You can see him open the door, place the bag into, I believe it's the passenger seat from the driver's side, but you can't see specifically where he's looking.
Well, you certainly see that he never got inside the car.
He doesn't, I don't think he gets inside the vehicle in the video.
In fact, his head never even got below the roof of the car, correct?
I can't remember. I'd have to watch the video again. It's been a while since I've seen it.
All right. And again, when asked by Judge Taylor, what do you think you're going to find there, you simply related to him the long list of things that y'all wanted to look for, correct?
Correct.
You didn't specify any of these things that you believe would be on this thumb drive, correct?
We were obtaining the search warrant because we didn't know what would be on the thumb drive.
Absolutely.
And this is the list of items is what we were searching for.
You had no evidence whatsoever as to any of these things that would be on this thumb drive. You were just wanting to look at it and see what might be on there.
No, we were looking for the specific items that I list.
I understand.
And a thumb drive typically store stuff that you could store, I don't know, videos, Financial information, you pretty much save anything from a computer onto a thumb drive now. So we had no idea what would be on this thumb drive. That's why we're obtaining a search warrant for this list of items.
And the only reason you're looking at this thumb drive as to any other thumb drive is because it was in the vehicle.
It was in, yes, it was in the vehicle in his possession.
All right. I'll find it in that sleeve.
Just looking at maybe the package.
I'm sorry.
Did you check the package?
You talking about the envelope here?
Yes.
I'll put it with it, we'll find it. The actual sleeve in a minute. I'm not sure I misplaced it somewhere. Fourteen SW 0654. This is for an external hard drive. You also got that same day, immediately following this search warrant we've just been talking about, from Judge Taylor, which you incorporate this prior testimony, correct?
Yes, sir.
And again, when asked about specific facts and what's looking for in this application, you did not provide any new information other than this list of things y'all were looking for, and that this was found in his car, correct?
As far as, the oral testimony, I provide the list of what we're searching for, and I mean, they take into account the previous search warrant as well.
All right. And did you note Judge Taylor made some comment about this being bigger than a thumb drive?
I did not note that.
Okay. But simply the fact that it's a larger, physically larger piece of equipment, that did not give you any reason to believe there was going to be evidence on this device any more than there would be evidence on the thumb drive, correct?
We didn't know which device would contain the evidence we were searching for.
Very good. Then 14 SW 0655 is a SanDisk 2 gig SD card.
Yes, sir.
Do you know what that is? An SD card?
Some type of memory card is how I would describe it.
Any idea how it is accessed?
No, sir.
Do you know where it was located other than inside Mr. Harris's vehicle?
In the vehicle. To my understanding, these items were in his, I guess, work bag or computer bag, but I'm not specifically sure exactly where every item was.
All right. Don't know if it was loose in there or if it was plugged into a computer or a phone or anything of that nature.
I don't know.
Excuse me. All right. And again, there's no new information provided. It's the same affidavit, the same request, the same list.
Yes, sir. Correct.
Then 14 SW 0656, this is for a CDR.
DVDR.
A DVD-R, I apologize, thank you. And that is similar to what we've been using here in court around compact disc that has the capability of holding video on it, correct?
Correct. Video. I don't know if it's capable of containing files or any of that type of information as well.
All right. And no one had looked at that DVD-R other than physically seeing the outside of the disc, correct? Prior to seeking the search warrant?
I believe so, yes.
All right. And again, other than possibly being in his bag inside of his car, you didn't have any specific information as to where it was located, correct?
Correct.
And Judge Taylor asked you if this was a recordable DVD. You recall that?
I remember him mentioning recordable DVD.
Okay. And did you note your response to that?
No, I didn't. I don't have any notes for that one. I just recall him stating a recordable DVD. I don't remember my response.
Do you recall, if this refreshes your recollection on, do you recall saying to him, it has a hard drive in it, I guess?
I don't remember what I said specifically.
I don't think it's very long. Let's see if this will help refresh. And I believe it's near the end of your oral testimony is this question about what type of DVD it is. I want to ask you about that on the other end.
Okay.
I know you'll be listening to all of it, but that's specifically what I'll be asking about.
Meet your raise your right hand again, please. Swear from tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth to help you God.
Yes.
All right, this is a continuation of a series of search warrants that we're doing for the same case, different things to be searched, of course. Just for the purposes of this video, we took the common involved testimony to each of these under E010690, and we've been incorporating that common testimony by reference through the last two, which is 691 and 692. We're up to E010693, and again, I'll incorporate that common testimony by reference hearings and all pertains to the same underlying case. So I know what's going on generally, so what do we have specifically about this search warrant what did you find, what are you looking to do?
This one is for a DVD-R, which is basically a DVD that was secured during execution of search warrant on Harris's vehicle in 2011 Honda Tuscan tag RT7. And we want to search this item for information pertaining to finances, credit card debt, business information, life insurance, emails, communications regarding child, wife, and family issues, photos, videos of childish adults, information about car seat searches regarding in-car thefts, communication with those people on the days leading up to, and the incident date, information on life insurance policies, and any other related information.
All right, and this DVD-R was actually in his vehicle, is it from the vehicle? Okay.
It was in, he had like a, kind of like a work bag that had all his electronic devices.
Oh, I see. Okay, all right. And the DVD-R, it's a assumption on my part, but it was seen all the time at the stores. That's the recordable DVD. The R stands for recordable, so
Yes.
so it's got a hard drive in it, essentially, I guess. Okay. All right. All right. Let me make sure all these are checked. That's checked. That's checked. Okay. Well, I think there's probable cause to investigate this one, search this one further. Similar to the others, let me make sure it's all saved. If you would sign the application for me, please. Keep these straight here.
Okay, that's fine.
Sorry, hold on. Sign my side. All right, sign the warrant portion, please.
Okay, that's fine.
Sign my portion. All right, same routine. As soon as I get this signed, I'm going to stop the recording so I can give you a password to print. Anything you want to add specifically to this one before we stop it?
No, sir.
I'm going to stop that and give you a password.
All right. In talking about the recordable nature of it, it's actually Judge Taylor who makes a comment that it essentially has a hard drive in it, I guess. You did not respond to his comment, obviously, as we heard the oral testimony, correct?
Correct.
All right. And at that point in time, when asked about the specifics of this device, again, you provided no additional new information. You simply recounted what you'd already told the magistrate before, correct?
Just listing what we're searching for.
All right, very good. Now, 14 SW 0657 moves on to a second warrant for the residence of Mr. Harris, and again, looking for light bulbs as well as some financial paperwork, correct?
Yes, it lists the item, the paperwork, but yes.
And this is essentially another search warrant duplicating the one you've already sought and been given, but because it wasn't executed, you decided to get another one, correct?
Correct.
And did you have any reason to, or did you know why the first warrant had not been executed?
Yes, sir. The first search warrant was specifically for the light bulbs, and then I had added the financial paperwork, bank information, credit card information, life insurance policy, business paperwork.
Okay. But do you know why the first one wasn't executed to look for the items?
Because we wanted to, I typed up the first search warrant, and once we looked at it, the detective started informing me that he wanted to have this other information on there, which I failed to put on the first search warrant, so we had added that. And didn't serve it because we were going to, this way we could do it, serve it all at one time.
Even that search warrant had been, the previous search warrant for the light bulb inspection was 3 days prior, but at some point in time in those 3 days, y'all made a determination, let's wait, let's just get a separate one that includes financial information.
Correct.
All right. And again, looking for the financial information, your basis for wanting to look at that was regarding comments made to family members regarding a life insurance policy.
For the life insurance, it all comes down to motive. Banking information, what the finances were, what the life insurance was, credit card debt, business information. He had started this new business with his friends. Was that creating a lot of debt? We didn't know.
Is it fair to say you were just kind of brainstorming ideas as what could be a possible motive in this case for him to have hurt his child? Is that fair to say?
Yes, we had brainstormed what would be possible motives for this.
Okay. You didn't have any evidence whatsoever that was provided to the magistrate regarding any disproving of Mr. Harris's statements that he simply forgot his child was in his car when he went to work that day, correct?
No, we had the surveillance video from the Home Depot and the statements he made in his interview and his wife's interview, which were suspicious. The lack of emotion the day of the incident.
The suspiciousness was that they watched TV and they looked on the internet. They weren't emotional enough for somebody. Is that right?
Suspicion was that he made comments that he'd recently watched news reports on this. He saw the veterinarian video about hot cars. They both stated this was their worst fear, and the detectives involved in the incident that were dealing with them found it to be suspicious the way they were acting with the limited amount of emotion.
Did you ever ask anybody, well, how much emotion are we talking about?
I didn't specifically ask that question.
Because you had been told about a whole lot of emotion that came out of Mr. Harris the day this happened by talking with eyewitnesses that saw him coming in that parking lot, correct?
Yes, they did say that he was in a panic.
Did you challenge anybody with this claim that they weren't showing enough emotion, that, hey, the first people that saw him said he was in a panic, acting hysterical?
Did I challenge the detectives about that?
Right.
No, they were aware of the statements that were made by witnesses.
But they sent you to get the under oath search warrant
Yes,
with that as a basis, correct?
yes, they said it. Based on their training and experience, it seemed suspicious to them.
But never once did you tell that to the magistrate that based on their training and experience, that seems suspicious, correct?
That's not written out in my affidavit, correct?
Nor did you say it, correct?
I don't believe so. Not in this search warrant.
All right. Now, in your oral testimony and speaking with Judge Taylor, he actually questioned you about these searching for light bulbs, correct?
Yes, he does.
Do you recall, as a result of that, what he, any limitation he put on the warrant regarding the light bulb search?
I can't recall if he put a limitation on it. I remember him questioning the reason to search for the light bulbs.
Right?
And I don't know my exact wording. I believe I explained to him about the surveillance video of him going back to the vehicle at lunchtime and placing the light bulbs in the vehicle, and us wanting to investigate to determine, did he have a reason to purchase the light bulbs? Were there light bulbs out at the residence where he would have needed that specific type of light bulb? So I think it was, I don't remember the specific type, but it was like a bathroom fixture type of light bulb. Or was this a reason on Mr. Harris's part to go back to the vehicle with his friends, where possibly that would be when he discovered his child, but his friends had driven off before he even got into the vehicle?
Right. I've got the oral testimony. You've had a chance to review this, correct, recently?
Yes, several days ago.
And raise your right hand again, please, sir. Swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
All right, this is the fifth in a series of search warrants on this case. Again, just for the record here, we took the common bulk testimony that's applicable to all these search warrants under E010690, and I've been incorporating that by reference and taking further sworn testimony as needed. We did that in 691, 692, and 693. We're up to E010694, and again, I'll incorporate that prior sworn testimony by referencing back to the first and subsequent search warrants. So we'll incorporate that. And then let's talk about what are you looking for in this one, and what's particular to this one.
And this one, we're looking to go to Justin Harris's residence, which is 1212 Wine Ridge Circle. There is ordinance 30060. During the investigation on surveillance video, we seen him turn into the vehicle and placing a bag, which turned into a bag of light bulbs into his car. So we're looking to search the residence for evidence to include inspection of lights in and around the residence. If there are any sufficient amount of light bulbs in store to determine there was a need to purchase light bulbs after the incident. Let's make sure there was, hey, he needed light bulbs. This is why he went and bought them. Also searching for any financial paperwork such as bank information, credit card information, life insurance policies, business paperwork.
Well, I mean, with the, I know about light bulbs, but why, how's that indicative of a crime? I mean, I understand that the papers and the effects of the life insurance policy.
They're looking at did the light bulbs, did the county go to any fixtures in the house? More in fact, was he looking for an excuse to go back to the vehicle during lunchtime to look in there? Or did he really go out and buy light bulbs because he needed them? Okay, they did a certain fixture in his house, there was a reason he did it. Other than, hey, I'm just returning the car, I throw my light bulbs in, I'm checking to see what's going on when he get in the car.
Okay. But did you think that did he go back to the car more than once, or just once during lunch?
Just once during lunch,
Okay.
to put the bag of light bulbs.
Okay. All right. What kind of light bulbs were they that he bought? Were they just the incandescent, the ones you can't get anymore, or were they specialty digital ones, do you know?
They were I know it was 40 watt Phillips, and I haven't specifically, I don't have it written down, but some kind of, they look to be, from what I was told, bathroom fixture type light bulb.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think I think the searching for the things such as the,
We're looking at doing this, basically, he went out to lunch with his two buddies and had them drive over to Home Depot, buy the light bulbs. Just looking at it from the standpoint of, is that a common thing to have your friends drive to the store to buy light bulbs? You can do that afterward. Was there a need to get those light bulbs that day?
I think that, I don't know where that's going to go. But I think searching for the financial paperwork and the banking information, the credit card, the life insurance policies, you know, he may have printed stuff off if he was doing searches for the car seats and things like that, or hot vehicles, or maybe paperwork on that. So I don't know. I think there's probably cause from that aspect to search the house for light bulbs. I don't know if that adds much to it, but it might. But I think you have probable cause certainly with all the other things. So we'll find there's probable cause for that, and maybe the light bulbs add to it. But certainly the life insurance and the other things do. So, all right, we'll go ahead and issue this one too. Go ahead and sign the application, please.
Okay.
I'm going to sign my side. Sorry, my pen's just not working.
I try to use the mouse, look at the scribble.
Computers. Okay, go ahead and sign the warrant portion, please. So if that's a Marietta address, it's probably an unincorporated Marietta.
I believe so.
Maybe 3060, still Cobb County.
As a warrant sign.
I'm going to sign my side. All right, I'll give you a password to print in a second. Anything you want to add to this recording before I stop it? Let me stop this one and give you a password.
All right. The light bulb interest, you actually did provide the magistrate some further information about the light bulbs and kind of what y'all were wanting to do to see, in fact, you had a reason to go get light bulbs if you really needed them, or if it was just an excuse to get back to his car. You provide that in your oral testimony, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. And so even though the judge didn't seem to think it would necessarily add a lot, in the process of executing that warrant, did you help execute that warrant yourself on the house?
Yes, I did, sir.
And did you take part in looking around to see what the light bulb need was in the home?
Yes, I did.
All right. And in the process of that, y'all discovered that in fact there were some bulbs in need of replacement that these would have fit the bill for, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. And even though that was in your affidavits for multiple warrants about that, after that execution of that warrant, you sought further search warrants in this case, correct?
After
After looking through the house at light bulbs.
I'd have to, let me look and see what date. I know there was search warrants taken after that, yes, sir.
All right. I believe it was the 30th. I believe the return would indicate the 30th of June is when y'all executed the search warrant.
That sounds right, I believe so.
And then you secured warrants into August.
Yes, I secured 2 warrants in August.
All right. And on those warrants that we're about to get into, it again references this. There's a whole paragraph dedicated to this surveillance of the Home Depot and seeing him go to the car and getting light bulbs with his friends and all that sort of stuff, correct?
Yes, sir.
But at no point in time did you advise the magistrate, by the way, we executed a search warrant in his house and found out, in fact, he did need light bulbs.
Are you talking about the warrants I secured after
That's correct.
after this group? I don't know if I provided that in my oral testimony or not.
All right. Do you have any recollection of, well, let's start with the written part. When you cut and pasted it, or however you got it into the next application, did you even ponder, maybe I should let the magistrate know that really turned out to be nothing? considering that?
So I'm just reviewing my written affidavit on it.
I think it's at the bottom of the affidavit page where that paragraph is located in most of them.
No, I don't believe I do not mention in the affidavit. I don't recall mentioning it in the oral testimony either for, it would be the 2 search warrants I took back, and it would be August of 2014.
In your review of those, that oral testimony, you have any notes that you ever advised the magistrate, that last paragraph turned out to be nothing because in fact he did need light bulbs?
I didn't advise them that he failed to mention that he had returned to his vehicle at lunchtime during his interview.
I understand. And did you ever advise the magistrate that in fact your actual investigation had shown that in fact he was in need of light bulbs to corroborate his statement? Or excuse me, to corroborate the
It's not
video?
my written affidavit, and I don't recall being asked by them or providing information in my oral testimony, but I'd have to review that to be absolutely sure.
Right. And you have reviewed it, correct?
I have reviewed it. I just don't recall if that was brought up in it or not.
All right. The next 2 warrants you've spoken about were for medical records for Cooper Harris and for Ross Harris, correct? You don't have to answer
Yes, sir.
that. That's my list anyway.
Yes, they are.
We don't have an issue there. With regards to the warrant 14 SW 660, again, this is for an iPhone 5. Which iPhone was this particular warrant for?
This is for the one that was on his person,
All right.
the day of the incident.
Now, you have already secured a search warrant for the searching of this device, correct?
I secured one on June 18th, and this was adding all the information that we'd acquired throughout the investigation to further the search of it.
Did you take part in executing the warrant on this iPhone at all yourself?
No, sir.
So whether or not there was a downloading of the device or anything of that nature, you didn't know that at the time?
I don't know specifically when they did the downloads on the phone.
All right. And this warrant is simply to add the litany of items, list of items that you're wanting to look for to see if by chance they are in this phone, correct?
I'm providing the more detailed affidavit and more information that we obtained in our investigation. Yes, adding that list of items regarding the finances, credit card, business info, life insurance, emails, communications about the child, wife, family issues, photos, videos of child development, info on car seat searches, searches about in-car deaths, communications with others on the incident date, days leading up to, and any other related information.
Now, did you relate to the magistrate at all that y'all had actually already looked through this device?
I don't know if I had or not. I don't have it listed in my notes.
Okay. All right. And the last ones were in August of 2014. The 14 SW 0816 and 14 SW 0844. both of these warrants pertain to the same device, is that correct?
Yes, sir. The first warrant was to obtain it from Home Depot, and the second one was for the stored electronic evidence or
All right.
material.
That's fine. Oh, 0816 was to search the Home Depot headquarters for this device. And you had indicated that, in fact, in your written affidavit, the Home Depot had contacted your office stating that they had a computer in storage that had been issued to Mr. Harris prior to 2014, correct?
Correct.
And other than that, there was no information provided to you regarding what was contained on that computer, correct?
We were advised by Home Depot that they had his work computer in storage, and that the computer that we had from his work was issued to him in March of 2014. So this would have been the computer he had, I believe, from his start date till March of 2014.
Okay. But as far as any information other than it was previously issued to him, was there any information provided as to someone having looked on that computer to see, one, if it had information on it, and two, what specifically that information might be?
No detectives had looked at the computer.
Had anybody else looked at it?
I don't know if Home Depot had looked at it or not.
Okay. Had they indicated to you or informed you that they had looked at it and found anything on it?
Simply that it was in storage, and they wanted to advise us on it.
Okay, all right. And as far as it being anywhere other than in storage, in other words, it wasn't on his desk, workstation, or anything of that nature that you were aware of?
Not that I was aware of. Obviously, prior to March of 2014, it would have been if it was, in his possession for work.
Very well. And then 844, with a separate warrant to actually then do a forensic analysis of that device, correct?
Correct.
And again, your request of searching this device is for this long litany of things that we've been talking about today, starting with the finances and going through any other information related to this incident, correct?
Correct.
Now, with regards to specific use of this computer, you did have in your written affidavit, that the investigation on his other work computer had located emails about Cooper from daycare, and also this video, finally this YouTube video about how hot does it get in a hot car, correct?
Yes.
As far as communications that would have been had on that computer, the information you had was there would at least be 3 months, or since March, from March to June 18th, that Mr. Harris was not in possession of this computer, correct?
Correct.
And so to your knowledge, there would be no communications on that computer of Mr. Harris with anyone else, correct?
We did not know what communications would be on the computer.
Okay. Well, if he didn't have it in his possession, it was in storage since March.
He would have had communications leading up to March, if in fact he was having communication with others on that computer.
If, again, had no idea, correct?
Correct, that's why we're getting a search warrant.
All right. And so at best, you were hopeful you might find some 3 to 4 month old communications that he had with somebody about some